Well, good afternoon. It is 1:48, 1:44 now, give or take, on December 21st, 2023. Happy holidays to everyone and welcome aboard. This is the first day of winter, 2023. I also want to give a shout out to Whiskey 3 Uniform Charlie Alpha, W3UCA, Tim, who was nice enough, kind enough, sweet enough to follow us on Twitch TV. So thank you very much, Tim. Hope you're listening. Hope you can come aboard and maybe you can work me again as Whiskey 2 Romeo. So we'll be beginning our broadcast. For those who are joining for the first time, you're probably hearing more noise than you should. Well, let me lower the audio here. Let me lower the audio so it's quiet. There you go. See, now it's nice and quiet. So this is Amateur Radio on the Air, unscripted. My name is Peter. My home call is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. And we're going to talk about all things amateur radio. What we're going to do a little differently, we're not going to do the rumblings, talking about general subjects of interest, whether it be satellites, whether it be FT8, whether it be VHF, UHF, repeaters, whether it be what your favorite mode is. We're not going to talk about that today. What we're going to do is we have a special event occurring called the 12 Days of Christmas. This is the 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas event. Put on by Lou, NO2C, November Oscar 2 Charlie, and Sally, KA2RYD, Kilo Alpha 2 Romeo Yankee Delta. They're the organizers of the event, and the purpose of the event is to collect all 12 gifts for the 12 Days of Christmas. Now, it can be expensive if you go out and do it yourself, but through the magic of amateur radio, you can do that for a very inexpensive price. And if you're listening, you can certainly apply for a certificate if you hear me. So, there are people on the air such as W2P. What does P mean? Partridge in a pear tree. And there's W2T, two turtle doves, 3 French hens, 4 calling birds. Well, I'm 5 golden rings. 5 golden rings, which will be called W2R, Whiskey 2 Romeo. And I guess if you had to go out and buy them, it would cost you about $2,500 in 2023 dollars. And if you had to buy the whole lot of 364 gifts, it would cost you a whopping $210,972. So how about that? Anyhow, so if you're on Twitch, or if you're an amateur radio operator, you hear me on the air, you want to get onto Twitch, go to my Twitch TV Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor page, and you can find me there. And we have you, once you join, you can join the chat window. Join the chat window, and you can put your messages in there. If you have any questions about amateur radio, how to become an amateur radio operator, by all means do that. Also, I want to advertise something else too. That's kind of important to me. It's Ham Radio University, which will occur on January the 6th, 2024. And let me see if I can find a little plug on that. We may have something there for HRU. Kind of take a look here. Not sure where that might be today. Kind of hiding in there somewhere. But yeah, HRU is also another event. Well, let me talk about that while we kind of find it here someday. All right, we'll find it one of these days. Anyway, HRU is basically a day of amateur radio fellowship and amateur radio forums. Quite a few forums are being put on, and that is going to be held at CW Post College in Long Island, New York. Go to the HRU website, www.hamradiouniversity.org, to find out more information about that. But this will be the first year after 3 years of an in-person event, and we're really very excited about it. I'm going to do a forum on what you need to do, what you need to know, and it's very little what you need to know and what you need to do to get involved in contacting somebody like the ISS. The International Space Station has a radio on board, and you, with a technician license, can talk to the ISS, other amateur operators, and maybe even an astronaut or two when they feel like they have the time, which is they have very little time. Anyhow, so that's the story there. Okay, what we're going to do now is look for open frequency, begin to call CQ, and begin to contact stations all over the country and possibly the world as well. So let me queue up our Flex site, and there we are. there I am. Hello there. Hello there. There I am. And the decorations are behind me. It's kind of bright today, so you're not going to see too many lights. Anyhow, okay. So,
I don't see you yet.
no, you will now. Okay, so let me now. We were just checking how we are with audio and video. Looks good. So, okay, let me now bring up the audio, and we can begin to hear what's out there. And maybe we'll do a little test, and we'll listen to some audio. Okay, this frequency looks okay. Let's check it out. Is the frequency in use? This is Whiskey 2 Romeo Special Event Station. Is the frequency in use? Nothing heard. Let's try it. Good afternoon. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ for the 12 days of Christmas. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. 5 golden rings we're going to give away for the 12 days of Christmas. CQ calling CQ, anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 days of Christmas special event. My home call is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, and I'm located in Long Island, New York. That's because I don't have to use the stroke station. I'm in New York. All New York stations do not have to say stroke whatever. If you're in Massachusetts or you're in Vermont, you'll use a 1 or you'll use a 4. But we're just W2R. Okay, QRZ, who is going to be the lucky person who will be the first person to join us today on In the Log for the 12 days of Christmas? Whiskey 2 Romeo listening.
Whiskey Alpha Zero, Papa Mike.
Well, there you go, Papa Mike. Congratulations. Welcome aboard, Whiskey Alpha Zero, Papa Mike. I think this is Michael or Mike in Minnesota, and you're showing me one of the many lakes there. What a beautiful looking lake, Mike. Good morning to you, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. You're a good 5'9" here in Minneapolis, and that lake is not in Minneapolis, but it is in Minnesota.
Okay, for the record, we want to be true and correct. Let me wish you very, very happy and healthy holidays, Mike. Thanks a lot for making contact with us. And 73s, you are in the log for Whiskey 2 Romeo. If anyone out there has a clean sweep as a result of making contact with the station, please, by all means, let us know. Let us know by all means. Okay, what I'm going to do, stand by one moment. I want to post me, or if somebody else can spot me somewhere, but stand by 1 second while I write out a spot, okay? Stand by 1 second. We're getting a spot written out. Stand by. Okay, we're there. Thanks a lot. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 days of Christmas. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ, anyone, anywhere, for the 5th annual 12 days of Christmas. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. My name is Peter, Long Island, New York. My home call is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. QRZ. QRZ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Calling CQ. Whiskey 2 Romeo, standing by.
Alpha Charlie 9 Oscar Tango.
Alpha Charlie 9. Is that Oscar Tango?
Roger.
All righty, let me get you in the log here. It's important to write it in the log, don't you think? Alpha Charlie 9 Oscar Tango. Okay. Anyway, good afternoon. John in Wisconsin, I believe.
That would be correct. I'm actually mobile on my way to work. You're about a 5-6 here.
All righty, thank you. Yeah, conditions are a little bit sketchy today on 20 and 15, as I've heard from the other operators. Thank you. Happy holidays, John. Thank you very much for making contact with us, and the best of 73s.
73.
And safe driving, and have a pleasant day at work. No arguments. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. Anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. A wonderful certificate is available by going to the website of Kilo 2 Romeo Yankee Delta. QRZ.
Kilo 9er, Bravo Tango Romeo.
Bravo Tango Romeo. Kilo, and you say it wonderfully. Kilo 9er. You must be an Aries member. Bravo Tango Romeo. Thank you. 5 and 9, by the way. 5 and 9. I think it's Corey in North Carolina. Go ahead. And my name is Peter.
That is correct. Name here is Corey. And just down here in North Carolina, sitting here
working with the daughters on some stuff on Christmas break and have the radio on in the background, tuning around every now and again. You got a good signal in North Carolina, easily 5x9. Back to you, K9 BTR.
Thank you, K9 BTR, Whiskey 2 Romeo. Thank you very much. Wonderful to hear working with your daughters. They, I know we have 6 little guys that we're going to be handing gifts to. It's time for them to go skiing, so ski bags are the order of the day. I never knew. Didn't have them in my time, Corey. Ski bag that looks like a backpack that you put everything in, boots, gloves, goggles, you name it. Anyway, so enjoy the crafts with them and have a happy and a healthy holiday, Corey. Thank you. 73s. Be well.
73, K9 BTR.
K9 to you, sir. QRZ, anyone anywhere for the 12 Days of Christmas. That's where we are, 12 Days of Christmas. My name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo. QRZ. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. Anyone anywhere for the 12 Days of Christmas, the 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo, Long Island, New York. Whiskey 2 Romeo, CQ. Is there a station calling Whiskey 2 Romeo? And nothing heard. Yeah, I want to make sure that I'm not on someone's frequency. QRZ, QRZ, CQ, CQ, Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas, Whiskey 2 Romeo. This frequency is in use. This frequency is in use. I hope you can hear me. The frequency is in use for Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ. Anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, CQ. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ. Anyone, anywhere. A Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas, calling CQ, CQ calling CQ. Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, CQ calling CQ. 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas, calling CQ.
Whiskey 8, Foxtrot X-Ray Mike.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Whiskey 8, Foxtrot X-Ray Mike. A very good afternoon to you. Happy holidays. My name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo, located in Northport, Long Island, New York, about 45 miles from New York City. I believe this is Frank in Ohio, and you're 5 and 9, Frank. Go ahead.
Roger that. Thank you for the report. You're a good 5-9 here also in Cincinnati, and happy to make your acquaintance. Give me your call one more time, please.
My pleasure, Frank. The call here of the special event station is Whiskey 2 Romeo. You've just earned 5 golden rings, so you can get a certificate if you'd like to from 12 Days of Christmas. My home call is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. QSL?
Yeah, QSL. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've talked to somebody else before. I don't remember exactly where. Who was also doing the same thing. I guess in a different location. No. Anyway, thanks for picking me up and thanks for the report. I do appreciate that. And you have a wonderful Christmas.
Thank you very much, Frank. W8FXM, Whiskey 2 Romeo. Thanks, Frank, so very, very much. Yes, there are 25 operators located all around the country and a couple of other all around USA, 25 operators from different locations. If you hear somebody with a stroke something, whether it be stroke 4, 5, 6, 7, you can kind of get an idea where they are. But since I'm not using a stroke, I'm located in New York. So 73s, and you have the best, happiest, and healthiest of holidays. 73s to you, Frank.
73, Peter.
Thank you so much, and thank you for making contact with us. Very good luck to you. Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, QRZ. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ. For the 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5 golden rings. Whiskey 2 Romeo, CQ calling CQ, anyone, anywhere. Whiskey 2 Romeo, standing by.
Kilo 0 Foxtrot Oscar.
Thank you. Kilo 0 Foxtrot Oscar. Good afternoon. It's either Douglas or Doug or something else. I see you have a C in your name, so it may be altogether different. But you're 5 and 9, and I see you're located in Minnesota. Nice signal, nice audio, Douglas. Go ahead.
Thank you very much for the kind words. I'm very rarely on sideband, so I enjoy hearing that. Thank you for the QSO, and you sound great too, and Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, you know, I do enjoy CW quite a bit, but certainly it's not, at least the way I sense CW, not a social mode. I don't, can't do a lot, spend a lot of time and go through long QSOs, but nevertheless, yeah, it's nice to get on sideband, nice to exchange pleasantries and say to you a happy and healthy holidays. Thank you so very much, and thank you for taking the time and spending the time with us. 73s, and have a happy and safe holiday.
You too, sir. Thanks much.
My pleasure. CQ calling, CQ anyone, anywhere. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. CQ and standing by. Anybody on Twitch that wants to send a message in the chat and say hello? I'm going to say, I'll say hello. I'll say W2 JV, and I'll do that somewhere here. Yeah, you got to, I have a separate screen that I can do that on, and we'll do that. Okay, W2 JV, hello. Okay, hello. There you go. Thank you. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ, anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, representing the 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ, anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, CQ and listening. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Whiskey 2 Juliet, that's my home call. Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. My name is Peter. Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo. CQ calling CQ for 12 Days of Christmas. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo standing by. Thank you very much. Welcome aboard. Kilo Delta 9. Is that hotel? Give me the rest of your call. Kilo Delta 9. I left out from hotel on.
It's Kilo Delta 9, November, Hotel Bravo. Over.
Roger. Yeah, you came up big that time, but a real good 5 and 9. Kilo Delta 9, November, Hotel Bravo. Thank you. 5 and 9 here in Long Island, New York. The name is Peter. I think your name is Rick in Illinois. Go ahead.
Roger. Thank you, Peter, and Merry Christmas to you, and best of luck on your hunt today.
Rick, thank you very, very much. Yeah, I hope we have a bunch of hunters there. I would be the fox today, and they would be the hunters, and we're looking forward to it. Yeah, propagation isn't so great now, and it's been reported on all bands, so we'll see what happens. But we're here. We're here until the 25th. Merry Christmas to you, and a very healthy New Year. Thank you so very much. QRZ, anyone, anywhere, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey Hotel Mike.
Whiskey Hotel Mike again?
Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey Hotel Mike.
Whiskey Hotel Mike. Thank you very much. I got that. Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey Hotel Mike. Thank you. 5 and 9. 5 and 9, Long Island, New York. And it says Harold, but if you say Hal, that's okay. From Ohio. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the 5-9. I also have you 5959 into Lorain, Ohio, on the lake at the mile-long pier. How are you today?
Well, thank you very, very much. Wish you the merriest of Christmases. Thank you very much for joining me at Whiskey 2 Romeo, and have a wonderful holiday. And you got a good signal there and nice setup. So best to you, 73s. Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Kilo Delta 8, India, Papa Foxtrot, India.
The station ending in India. Just hold on a second. Kilo Delta 8.
Kilo Delta 8, India, Papa Foxtrot.
Thank you. Kilo Delta 8, India, Papa Foxtrot. Good afternoon. Happy holidays to you. The name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
Roger, Peter. Thanks for the event, and good luck.
Thank you very much. Be well, and thanks for making contact with us. A station with India in the call?
Whiskey Bravo 8, India, Charlie, India.
There you go. 2 Indias. Whiskey Bravo 8, India, Charlie, India. Thank you very much, sir. 5 and 9, Long Island, New York.
And you're 5 and 9 in southeast Michigan. Really nice signal.
Well, thank you, Paul, for saying that. You too as well. I appreciate that. 73s and Merry Christmas to you and a very Happy New Year. QRZ, anyone, anywhere, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Alpha Delta 4, Delta Quebec.
Alpha Delta 4, Delta Quebec. I hope I have that right. That would be Greg in Kentucky. My name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
QSL Peter, yes, you got it right. Alpha Delta 4, Delta Quebec is 5-9 down here into Kentucky, QSL.
QSL, thank you very much. And happy and healthy holidays to you. And thank you so much for joining us on the 12 Days of Christmas. You have earned 5 golden rings. So a certificate is available for 1. And a bigger certificate is available if you make a clean sweep. And if anybody out there makes a clean sweep, let me know. I'd like to hear about that. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas, 5 golden rings, listening. Okay, a little quiet time. I don't mind this after all. It gives me a little break. The throat is a little bit scratchy from doing this, I think, the 6th day for me. Anyway, here we go again for another CQ. Looking for stations. That's what CQ is all about. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. Anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. 5th annual, actually. I'm advancing time. 5th annual, 12 Days of Christmas. Whiskey 2 Romeo listening. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. Whiskey 2 Romeo. 12 Days of Christmas, 5 golden rings, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter. Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo. And I'm located in Long Island, New York. Standing by. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. Anyone, anywhere. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. 12 Days of Christmas. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. 5th annual, 12 Days of Christmas. I don't know, I want to say 12 all the time. 5th annual, 12 Days of Christmas. CQ calling CQ. Whiskey 2 Romeo listening. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Long Island, New York calling CQ. CQ calling CQ from Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo, CQ, CQ calling, CQ and listening. QRZ, anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, Long Island, New York, home call, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, QRZ. Kind of quiet, but that happens sometimes on the bands. Yeah, I see, you can see by looking at the pan adapter there. This is a Flex 6400 that I have. Wonderful pan adapter. Gives you a description of what's going on. All those marks are people on the band. And as you can see, they're not a whole lot of them. The bands are not that crowded. But let's try again. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. Anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. 5 golden rings. 12 Days of Christmas. CQ calling CQ and listening. Whiskey 4 Kilo Alpha Mike. Thank you very much for keeping me company on this lonely kind of day. My name is Peter, Long Island, New York, and you're a 5 and 9. 5 and 9. I think it's Kevin from Tennessee.
That's correct, Kevin from Tennessee. I have you only 5'7", 5'7" here in Tennessee. That may be my antenna.
No, Kevin, not at all. Not your antenna at all. I am pointed north, and maybe I should move the beam a little bit, maybe to the south. Maybe that might help. But yeah, it's really north, and usually north covers most of the area, but certainly not optimum, not picking up. You would probably be a 10, 15 over 9 right now, Kevin. That's what I think. Go ahead.
Copy that. I'm in a valley close to the Smoky Mountains. Sometimes I don't get a good reception. But anyway, 73, Merry Christmas, and thank you for being out there.
Kevin, my pleasure. Merry Christmas to you, 73s, and have a healthy and enjoyable Christmas. Thank you so very much. Even though you're in the valley, you're making contact, and that's all that counts. And you got a nice signal as well. QRZ, anyone, anywhere for Whiskey 2 Romeo.
November 1, General Electric.
Well, there you go. That is a powerful call. I almost am standing at attention. I don't know how you got that call. You got to tell me about that. Let's see, your last name. Yeah, your last name ends in E, so that makes some sense there. But what a wonderful call. quite a respected company. The book that I read, a wonderful book called Built to Last, talking about why some companies stay on for centuries and some companies don't last 10 years. Anyway, N1GE, I think it's Bob in Tennessee. Nice signal, nice audio, Bob. Go ahead.
Okay, very fine. Well, I heard a 1 by 1. You don't hear that many. I figured it was special. This is Bob N1 General Electric, and my last name is Eggleston, so which goes back to 1630 in Connecticut and 1801 down here just above me in Virginia. We're right on the Tennessee-Virginia line here. It was 20 degrees this morning, and going up to, well, it said 71, but that's in the sun. It's got to be about 52 degrees, but we're going to have 60 degrees for Christmas. I'm pretty good here. I'm running 7300, and my volume down here a little bit. I'm using my 7300, driving a AL80B, and I just had to replace the transformer portion of inverted L that's up about 50 feet and goes out about 80 feet horizontally. So that's my story. I got the call as a vanity call. I've been licensed since '62. I've had about 8 calls. My job, I was a contract CEO in the credit union business. So every time I moved, way back when, they just changed I put the change of address and I was getting all these different calls. And then I got hit by the internet. They hit Yahoo for 13 million of us, and it was a game. But I've got my call back, the N1GE call. So that's my story. Back to you. W2 radio. That's easy enough. N1 General Electric.
Oh yeah, you talk about easy enough. Yeah, you're great. That is a call that certainly would be a coveted call. My original call that I received in 1964, and to the dismay and distress of some of my good buddies, they say you should have stayed with the call you were born with. But that call is a bit difficult for me on CW and contesting. So I went out on the bidding cycle, as you know, and went to find a call that had some meaning to it. And my father was a veteran in World War II. He was in the Air Corps, and I found a fellow who had similar lines to that, and that's how the JV came about. Not the easiest call, perhaps, to receive on when you're sending 40 words a minute or so on CW, but it's still a call that has some meaning and made my father kind of happy. So that was my story with that. The 7300, my goodness, you talk about the best bang for your buck. It probably has the most number of users, I think. That's what I think. Not a statistical, certainly, study, but nevertheless, my feeling is that that radio always produces great results, always has great audio, doesn't take a lot to set it up, and it's a very friendly radio to use. And you're also using an amp that I love. The AL80B is just a workhorse. Not using that now because it didn't mate very well with my Flex 6400. There seemed to be some problems with RFI. The 6400 does generate RFI because it's a server, server/radio. And the ADB, I was not able to pull full power out of it. Now, a lot of it probably had to do with the fact that I wasn't properly grounded. The ground bus wasn't to my liking, but I fixed that up, and who knows, maybe that was the issue overall. Yeah, 64 was the year I got my call, and it was at the New York World's Fair. I got it actually in 63. I got my novice call in 63, Bob, and went to the World's Fair in Queens, New York, and went immediately to the Coca-Cola Pavilion and operated the Howler-Crafters radios there, and I was really loving it. It was really a fun time. So yeah, that's my story. On the inverted L, yeah, I had a friend who was in upstate New York, and his inverted L fell down, and he has to replace the transformer because of the we had a pretty significant storm here last weekend, and the winds were gusting at places of 60, 70 miles an hour, so it was kind of tough. So that's the story there. I'm using a Navasa 5 antenna, by the way, Navasa 5 on a tower that's now about 50 feet. It was 70, but I overloaded it, and who doesn't? But I did overload it. I used a chromoly mast, and that was the wrong mast to use for an old 1960 Tri-X tower, and it just folded in a storm that was pretty significant, but Not enough, I thought, to cause that kind of loading issues, but nevertheless. So great on being a CEO, contract CEO for credit unions. I found a great bank, the Bethpage Federal Credit Union. I was with other banks, major banks, but I just enjoyed. They are such a great place to deal with, Bethpage, and fun people, and they don't have perhaps the same restrictions, the same laws governed by some of the major banks. Well, enough of that. Let me send it back to you, and we can sign off with that. N1GE. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Okay, I never got your handle.
Sorry, Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo, and I'm located in Northport, Long Island, New York.
Okay, Northport. But we have a lot of things that came out the same. First of all, your father being in the Air Force, so was mine. My father was in the 8th Air Force and flew out of England and got shot down. He had flown 20 B-24s and then out on a 17, leading the back on a long distance, they had the 4 engines, and dropped his load, and he lost his belly gunner, and then he was shot down, but he got the other 9 guys out of the planes, and then he was a POW MIA for about 9 months, and he made it back when my brother and I wouldn't be here. So that's one thing in common. I got my novice and tech together, and in '63 I got my general. I was down in Florida in 1980, moving out of New England for the first time, and I got my advanced, and then in '85 somebody said come down and take the extra test, and I could do the 20 words per minute on the W. I got a 50 on the test. It was all about giving exams and everything like that. I never even knew there was a math, so I passed it the next time, 39 out of 40, and been fooling around. I quit making countries at 307, and I've had all these, everything on the ICOM land. I started with heat kits, modifying that stuff, and then into Kenwoods on trades. I used to run the Vero Beach Ham Fest many years ago. And then I started on ICOMs, and I've got two 7300s, one brand new one in the box I just picked up. I'll probably take this one and put it in my RAV4 and see how that goes. I'm going to do some mobile. Moved from Florida halfway back to New England because my daughter and grandson are still in Florida, and my other relatives are up in New England. And I lived in Northport, one word, Florida, which is part of Sarasota County. So, and very good on what you're using there. I have my trees, I can go up to 100 feet easily. I have 8 big trees in my backyard, and I've got this one. Actually, it's not on a horizontal.
See, this is good stuff. You know, a little QSO, learning about what people have.
It's kind of like an inverted L going to a little bit, well, you know,
learning a few things.
I threw a golf ball attached to my surf casting line, and it was full of leaves when I put it up there. I will make some adjustments here, probably in February when it gets a little warmer, and I can see what's going on there. And I think I hit them all, Peter. I don't know if I missed anything else. I've been to where you are in Northport. You're on the island. You must be on Long Island, like we used to call it from Boston. We had the Boston accent, and we always said people were out in Long Island. Maybe I'm wrong. At W2R, N1GE.
No, you're not wrong at all. N1GE, General Electric. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5 golden rings, and hopefully there are other stations that want to contact us, and we're a little quiet today, so if there are, please be patient. I do enjoy QSOs, whether it's CW or whether it's sideband here. Very enjoyable, Bob, very enjoyable. Yeah, my dad, he had a heart murmur, so he didn't fly. He was in operations, and you know, some people are just so military bound. I mean, they wanted him to continue and go to Canada school, but he had a lady here in Woodside, Queens, that he was going out with. He worked for Gimbel's department store. He met her in Gimbel's, and then he went off to war for 3 years. And nope, he was coming back, and good enough, because he didn't come back, and he became an Army military professional career-wise. Well, I wouldn't be here. So he made the right decision. Well, some people may not feel that way, but he did. He did. Yeah, B-24s. I think. Yeah, I was reading about Chuck Yeager and about Carroll Shelby, because I think both at one point or another flew B-24s, and what a plane to fly! What an honor. He must have had really and to save 9 people in his plane. That was certainly very medal worthy, even Medal of Honor for something of that nature. And then to be a POW, my goodness, what a story. But my father, the military, he worked for the Brooklyn Navy Yard before he was called in, and he was called in. They said, Joe, you don't have to join the military. You are exempt working for the Navy Yard. He said, No, I'm not. He says, I'm going in, and he left as a master sergeant, and he was quite an effective guy, and he spent most of his time in England and Scotland. But I got to tell you, that was the best time of his life, and the stories that he would tell would be tremendous. But he grew up in Brooklyn. He was one of 9 children. He never slept in his own bed. I slept with 3-4 people at a time until he got into the Army and slept on a military cot, and that was just heaven. Can you believe that? Go ahead.
Oh, you made me laugh, that's for sure. That's really funny. That's usually the opposite.
Yeah, that's right.
People don't realize they're sleeping with 30 or 40 guys in a barracks, and everybody's so close, and oh my God, that's unbelievable. Well, in the Navy, of course, you're going to have the double deckers in there. Wow. Well, I was a captain. I left after Army, and I was all ready to go to Nam, but there was a pullback. So I was at Benning at the time, and they sent me to, I went to Halliburton for a short time, and then they said, well, we want to move you over here. You got 5.5 months active right now, but if you go over to the reserves, we got plenty of slots for you, because there were no more butter bars, second lieutenants at that time. So I went from military intelligence with an infantry background into transportation, and I stayed in the reserves for about 9 years. Then I decided to continue my banking career. I went to Northeastern University in Boston and on the co-op land, so I had 5 years experience working in the bank, and well, I'll come back here sometime, and I did, and I was able to combine banking and that, so and I actually ran the GE Federal Credit Union for about 9 years. That was nationwide, and I was in commercial banking, so that's commercial banking, which is known to credit union people as being in the dark side, along with Darth Vader. And I went to credit unions and loved it ever since. So that's what I'm doing there. So interesting stories. And my brother was a first lieutenant with the 82nd Airborne. He went to Italy, and after 4 years being in there as they had the same commission as going to West Point, he decided to go back and work at Honeywell, and went into electronics and computer work there. So interesting backgrounds and moving around. So hey, listen, great to talk to you. Maybe we'll talk to you again with sometime in the future. I'm the net manager for the Treasure Coasters, which is on at 10 minutes of 8 in the morning on 40 meters on 7153. And we go to about 9:15, and then the Can-Am net follows us. So, and the Treasure Coasters is a net that's 62 years old, and we're all over the East Coast, and we have some West Coast people check in from Arizona and stuff. Depending on when dawn is, obviously, we had a guy this morning from Arizona that was originally a two-lander, and he's out there working on an Indian reservation, which was pretty interesting, and he had a tremendous signal because he was up at 7,000 feet. So
yeah, that helps.
Good. I'm at 2,000 feet, and 20 miles southeast of me is Roan Mountain, which is 6,189 feet. So I left being at 53 feet elevation, Florida, up here to the higher elevations. It's about 20 degrees every morning. I can't believe it up here. But then it warms up in the afternoon. We're going to be, actually, we're 57 degrees right now. That's unreal. Okay, back to you, and Nice to meet you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. W2 Radio and one green eggs.
And one green eggs. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. I don't know if I'm going to get fined here for not running like a station, but nevertheless, it's quiet. There aren't too many stations operating, so I don't feel guilty at all. And this is just wonderful. By the way, I'm also streaming this on Twitch TV. So if you'd like to hear that wonderful voice of yours, that wonderful audio, and relive our silly stories, the glory days, as Bruce Springsteen would say, it's on Twitch TV. And I'm doing this because a lot of the folks are new to amateur radio or never heard of amateur radio and want to know what's going on. And hopefully we can encourage some new people to join us. So Twitch TV under my call sign. My call sign is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. That's my, as you know, my home. My background basically is a military background. Is very brief. 1964, I was drafted, and that was, as you know, a very hot time in Vietnam. And I spent time here in the local area. I developed a hernia, and I would have been sent to a foreign land, but didn't want to have the surgery. Didn't have to have the surgery. Weren't forced to, and so I stayed here, and that worked out well. Banking, yes, my career was in banking. I spent about 9 years in banking. It was wonderful because I met my wife there, the Bank of New York. Speaking about the dark side. And that was the early days. I joined the bank in 71 and left them in 78. But it was very enjoyable. I got involved after college with their training program, and I really very much enjoyed it. It was a wonderful training program that the bank provided. And I remember I had an interview with Doyle, Dane, and Bernbach, and I said, I'm going to the bank. And he said to me, you're making a terrible mistake. So I don't think so. Yes, creative side, I ended up getting involved in sales and recruiting because I did enjoy the sales side more than the finance side. And I knew that I wasn't going to be a very great finance guy, but was a good recruiter. In fact, GE was one of my favorite accounts. We recruited quite a few people to the GE Executive Training Program, and it was and I'm sure you know, a fantastic program. And they recruited a lot of people, and I was able to figure out the profile and know exactly what the fit would be. So it was a good run with GE, and just enjoyed the people there. They were in Connecticut. I mostly worked with them at headquarters, and it was a great time. So thank you very much for all your background and your time. And I wrote down the treasure Hunter's Net and at 7153 on 40. So yeah, maybe we'll join one of these days. It'd be my pleasure. This has been sometimes you open up the box here in the band and you get a surprise, and this was a surprise. Thank you very much for spending the time, and there's always a positive to having a quiet airwaves, and I really enjoyed the time, and hopefully we could do it again. So thank you very much for the time, Bob. And yeah, our temperature, well, the first day of winter, I guess, today, right? First day of winter, we started off at about I guess 33 degrees, and now it hasn't gone too much, about 40 right now. But yeah, Northport is leaf capital of the world, I think. And we lived in Massapequa on the canal for many years, and Sandy kind of blew us away. And it's nice now to be at 190 feet. So we feel high and dry for a while anyway. So 73s, really enjoyed it. Merry Christmas. And thank you so much for sharing your background, your dad's background with me, and your little bit of your job history. I appreciate that very much. I wish I could recruit you now. I'm not in the business anymore. I just do some special contract work. 73s, Bob. N1 GE, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Okay, very good, Peter. And I'm trying to think. I used to take the ferry. My neighbor up in Massachusetts, we lived in Framingham outside of Boston. He went to LIU, but I think it was called Southampton University or something like that. I could be wrong on the name, but I won't forget going there a couple times. There were the ratio of co-eds to male were 10 to 1, and boy, it was worth the ferry ride from Long Island to go down. I used to try to go down on 3-day weekends back in the that would have been back in the mid to late 60s there, long before I ever got married. But anyway, that was a nice thought of being going down to Long Island, and I played golf out there too at some special golf course when all CEOs. And I was the president of Cargill Bank also. before I went to General Electric. So I got to see the life of I couldn't believe. And unfortunately, most CEOs that I met in the banking were real hooty snooty, and I was more like having a good time and enjoying work, because that's why I was doing it. And boy, I had the time of my life, and probably was the center of attention because I wouldn't shut up. Okay, 7-3s, W2R N1GE. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Oh, never mind. All my pleasure. Yes, that was Southampton College. I think a division of CW posted a time, and it was certainly located in the right spot, right near the pleasure capital of Long Island, really, with all the beaches, Southampton, West Hampton, and going out to Montauk. So just a fantastic location. Yep, good memories for sure. Yeah, I had memories of going to Montauk and fishing and staying in one of those motels for $15 or so. But now it's all for the rich and famous, the CEOs. Yes, the snooty CEOs. Yeah, they would often tell me, "You don't take your career seriously." But nevertheless, no, I didn't. Like yourself, I enjoy being a consultant. Anyway, 73s, just my pleasure. And again, thank you very much for spending the time with us on this day, Whiskey 2 Romeo, the 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. 73s, and very Merry Christmas to you and the family. Thank you so much, Bob, for the time.
Hey, Peter. And it's a Treasure Coasters. It was based out of Vero Beach, and they started this net, so when people were leaving, most of the people from down south wouldn't stay in the south. They'd all go back up north or to the Midwest. So I think you'll enjoy the group there. Boy, you got a whole interesting bunch of people there. We have a guy, AA2SX, and he calls in every day. He's on the island, and he's a dog walking mobile. So by foot, that's pretty interesting. Not too many nets have somebody like that. See you later, N1G. Good morning. Good afternoon.
You're right about that. That is unique. That's one for the record books. I'd like to have a picture of that in my log. 73s, and thank you very much for the time. Be well. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo signing off with November 1. Golf Echo to be official with the ITU language. 73, sir. QRZ, anyone, anywhere, if there's anyone anywhere around. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. I am 5 golden rings. Come on and collect some golden rings from Whiskey 2 Romeo. My home call, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. And my name is Peter, Pop Echo, Tango Echo Romeo.
W2R, this is Whiskey 2 Uniform Mexico. Whiskey 2 United Mexico.
Very good afternoon to you. Whiskey 2 United Mexico. Thank you very much for joining me. And I was turning this into a rag chew net. My apologies. I think it's Jim, and I think you're in New Jersey. Not too bad. 5 and 7 from Long Island, New York to New Jersey, Jim. Go ahead.
Okay, we're good on 57. You're also 57 here. The name is Jim, Japan, New Mexico, and you're down in New Jersey. I was looking for you. I only need a few more to make the 12. And you were one of them, so I heard you signing off there. I appreciate the acknowledgement there. W2R, W2US.
Well, thank you very much. My pleasure, Jim. Thank you, and go collect them, and you'll get a wonderful certificate, suitable for putting it anywhere in the house, even the kitchen. It's just a gorgeous certificate made by K2, RYD, and NO2C, the two founders. 73, sir, and Merry Christmas from Long Island, New York. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
73, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. 73s. Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ, anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5 golden rings, 12 Days of Christmas, 5th annual event. CQ calling CQ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo calling CQ, home call Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Name is Peter, Long Island, New York. QRZ. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor is my home call. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas. CQ calling CQ, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5 golden rings. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5 golden rings, 5th annual, 12 Days of Christmas. Whiskey 2 Romeo, Long Island, New York. Name is Peter. W2JV is my home call. CQ calling, CQ. Anyone, anywhere. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. 5 golden rings. CQ calling, CQ. CQ calling, CQ. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. Whiskey 2 Romeo. CQ calling, CQ. CQ calling, CQ. Anyone, anywhere. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. CQ calling, CQ. CQ calling, CQ. CQ calling, CQ. 12 Days of Christmas. Whiskey 2 Romeo. While I'm writing out a spot, maybe I can get some more customers. I'm not sure. Not sure if I'm spelling Christmas right. Not really. It doesn't look right to me at all. CQ calling, CQ. CQ calling, CQ. Anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Calling CQ, CQ, CQ. CQ calling, CQ. 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Calling CQ and listening. The mobile station standby. I think there's a K5.
Kilo Bravo 5, Lima Bravo Oscar, Richmond, Michigan. You're the third one today, over.
Oh, that's good. Kilo Bravo 5, Lima Bravo Oscar. Thank you. Is that a clean sweep for you?
3 in a row, if you call that a clean sweep.
Well, that's okay. I call that 3. That's good enough. 3 in a row is good. Congratulations. My name is Peter, Long Island, New York, and you're 5 and 9. 5 and 9. I think it's Richard or Dick in Michigan. Go ahead.
Yeah, he took a big dip that time. But anyway, yep, you got the name right. It's Rich, and I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Carry on, man. Good little deal. Get ham radio. Keep it going, right?
Roger that. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. This is how we do it. Keep ham radio alive. The mobile station, please come in. Wow, nice signal. I mean, 5 and 9 plus. Whiskey Bravo 0, Papa Oscar, Quebec. 5-9 plus. Name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
Very good, Peter. Name here is Bob, and I'm on my way home from work in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
There you go. Great. I mean, really, such a very good signal. What? Tell me about your setup there. I'd like to know. It's such a good signal. Go ahead.
Okay, it's a Linko. I don't remember the model. It's kind of an older radio. I've got a ham stick mounted on the back of the Honda, and I'm running about 50 watts.
That's fantastic. Those ham sticks are very, very effective. They really are. Well, 73s, Merry Christmas to you, and enjoy your way home, and have a very safe holiday. Bob, thanks so much for contacting us here at Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5 golden rings. 73s.
73s, good luck. Merry Christmas, WB0POQ Mobile.
Merry Christmas to you and safe driving. This is Peter, Whiskey 2 Romeo, QRZ.
Kilowatt 7, Hotel Papa.
Kilowatt 7, Hotel Papa. I like those easy calls. I can type those real quick. K7HP. Thank you. Peter, Long Island, New York. I think it's Henry. Are you in Arizona?
Roger.
Got a good signal. Really. There's a nice net I heard called Treasure Coasters on 40 meters, 7153. I just spoke to the net manager, and a lot of folks from your location check in occasionally. In fact, 1 or 2 from Indian reservations. Nice signal. And how are you doing there in Arizona today, Henry?
Oh, you're about 5.6, 5.7. Not really pounding in, but easy copy. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what counts. I'm glad you got that. Good. Well, thank you very much. 73s, and a very Merry Christmas to you. And thank you very much for checking in and kind of keeping me company. 73s, this is Whiskey 2 Romeo. 73s now.
7-3, thank you.
Thank you. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Victor Echo 3, Tango Alpha Zulu.
Thank you, Victor Echo 3, Tango Alpha Zulu. 10 over 9 at least, maybe more. Name is Peter, Long Island, New York, and I have the call as Victor Echo 3, Tango Alpha Zulu.
Okay, yeah, you're 10 over plus as well. 5-9 Ontario would be the response.
I got it. I got a QSL on that. Yeah, maybe propagation is improving because the signals are coming up now. So thank you. And I think your name is John. Is that correct?
QSL.
Thank you, John. 73's Merry Christmas to you, and thank you so much for joining Whiskey 2 Romeo. 5 golden rings, the 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. Whiskey 2 Romeo from Long Island, New York. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ, anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. A Whiskey 2 Romeo, CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ. I'm often looking at the wrong microphone. I have a microphone for streaming, and I'm looking into that microphone. Whiskey 2 Romeo, now I've got better coverage. Whiskey 2 Romeo, or output. Whiskey 2 Romeo, this is Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5 golden rings, 12 Days of Christmas, QRZ. November 9 again?
It is November 9, Kilo, Papa, Hotel, kilometers per hour. QSL?
QSL, November 9, Kilo Papa Hotel. Thank you. 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. Where's your location?
We are located in southeastern Wisconsin, near Milwaukee, and your signal strength is good. Great signal, 5-9.
Well, thank you. You too as well. Nice signal and also very good audio. 73's Merry Christmas from Long Island, New York. Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Whiskey Bravo 6 Lima.
Whiskey Bravo 6 Lima. There you go. The band is stretching out now. It's almost like you could draw a map. It's starting to stretch out. I had a station with Canada, Arizona, and now California. Thank you. 5 and 9, Long Island, New York.
Okay, we've got you about a 5 and 7 in Thousand Oaks, California. And my name is Ray, Romeo Alpha Yankee. My wife is right next to me. She'd like to work you also. Her call is Kilo November 6 Whiskey Echo Charlie. Kilo November 6 Whiskey Echo Charlie. You give her a call and she'll give you a signal report also. Back to you, WB6L.
My pleasure. My pleasure. KN6, Kilo November 6. Kilo November 6, Whiskey Echo Charlie. Kilo November 6, Whiskey Echo Charlie. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Kilo November 6 Whiskey Echo Charlie. This is Terry, and you are 5-9. And thank you. Merry Christmas.
Ah, Terry, you got it all. Terry, thank you. Very Merry Christmas to you, and you're 5 and 9 also. And pleasure to speak with someone in a lovely location, Thousand Oaks, California. Thanks so very much. Have a very happy and healthy holiday. Thanks a lot. Thank you both for the call. 73s. And that was Ray, too, as well, and Terry. Thank you. 73s to both of you. Happy Merry Christmas. QRZ, anyone, anywhere. Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Victor Echo 1, Oscar Romeo.
Wow, nice signal. Victor Echo 1, Oscar Romeo. I've got to give you best audio of the day. That sounds just so full, just the right amount of highs and lows. I have a pan adapter here on the Flex 6400, and it's just a perfect envelope. Victor Echo 1, Ocean Romeo. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. The name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
Well, good evening, Peter, and thanks for the great signal report. Yeah, it's a 7300 with a Heil microphone, a Heil boom mic. Nothing fancy, running 100 watts into a G5 RV. Name is Steve, Sierra Tango Echo Victor Echo. And you're a good 10 over here, QSL.
Well, QSL, yes, I'm working with the Heil mic also, the Heil PR781. Which Heil do you have?
I have the IC. It's the standard, I think it's an IC1, which is used with the ICOMs, QSL.
Yes, that's very favorable, and you can really set up the equalizer. And that is the best audio, seriously, that I've heard from a 7300. So as people often say, don't touch a thing. 73, Steve, thank you so very much for the contact, and have a very Merry Christmas. 73s.
Yeah, 73, and thanks for calling us in. You have a Merry Christmas as well, and hope you get some time off. Do you want to?
Yes, we're going to have that. We will have that. We're going to run through the 25th, but we have 25 operators, and everybody is covering a lot of the calls, the 12 days, and no one is going to be without a sweep if they want it. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 0, India Zulu. Thank you. You're a 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. Go ahead.
QSL, Long Island, New York. You're 59 in Colorado.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. 59 from Colorado. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you as well. QRZ.
Kilo Mike 4, Echo Fox X-ray.
Echo Fox X-ray. Kilo Mike 4, Echo Fox X-ray. 5 and 7. 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
Roger, Roger. You're a 5-9 here in eastern North Carolina. The name is Billy.
Thank you, Billy, from Eastern North Carolina. Nice signal. Thanks a lot for making contact with us. I appreciate that. 73s. QRZ.
November Papa 4, Alpha Charlie.
November Papa 4, come back.
November Papa 4, Alpha Charlie.
Thank you, November Papa 4, Alpha Charlie. Good afternoon. Merry Christmas to you from Long Island, New York. The name is Peter, and I think this is Alberto in Tennessee. Go ahead.
Roger. Yeah, this is Alberto in Tennessee. You're 5'9", Tennessee. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Alberto. Merry Christmas to you, and thank you so much for the contact. You've earned 5 golden rings. QRZ.
Kilo 8, Alpha Lima Hotel.
Roger, there's, I think, a station named Radio, but stand by. Alpha, Kilo 8, Alpha Lima Hotel. 5 and 9, nice signal. Name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
Oh, very good, Peter. You copy your 5'9", you're 5'9 plus 20. The name here is Al. Location is Michigan. Peter, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Al. Merry Christmas to you from Long Island, New York to Michigan. Merry Christmas. Thank you. QRZ. I think there's a November 6th. Go ahead. Gotcha. Okay. Sorry about that. November 2, Lima Kilowatt Radio. Thank you. 5 and 5, Long Island, New York. And if you're New Jersey, Eric, you're doing pretty well today. Go ahead. Thank you, Eric. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And it's great to talk with someone so close in. That's sort of a little bit of a phenomenon, but I enjoyed it. Thank you very much. You've earned 5 golden rings from Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas. Thank you so very much. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Whiskey Delta 9 Victor.
Thank you, Whiskey Delta 9 Victor. Thank you so very much. The name is Peter, Long Island, New York, and you're 5'9 plus plus.
QSL, you're 5'9 plus plus plus. The name here is Keith in Western New York. Merry Christmas.
Western New York, really, and it's WD9V. Do I have that right?
I'm in Wisconsin, over.
Why did I hear Western New York? Are my ears going funny?
Well, I came from Western New York about 75 years ago, over.
Okay, maybe I'm a mind reader now. A soothsayer. Anyway, good to hear you from Wisconsin. Yeah, Western New York with that signal would be nuts. Well, thank you so much, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you. Thank you, Keith.
Merry Christmas to you, 73.
73s. Gotta laugh. It's always so funny, amateur radio. QRZ, people think we're all tech heads, nerds, but no, we're not. We're real people. We laugh and we have a good time. Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Victor Echo 3, Hotel India Alpha.
Thank you. Nice signal. Victor Echo 3, Hotel India Alpha. Thank you very much. The name is Peter, Long Island, New York, and I think it's Ivan, and I think you're in Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
QSL. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Ivan, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you and a very, very Happy New Year. Thank you. 73s. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas.
November 8, Oscar Hotel Oscar.
November 8, Oscar Hotel Oscar. Big signal, 5'9 plus, sir. Name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
QSL, Peter. The name here is Mark, and you're 5'9 plus here, and I'm in Ohio, about 127 miles due south of the Lost Point on Lake Erie.
Okay, that's great. The snow machine capital of the world. Thank you so much. 73s and a very Merry Christmas to you. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. November 4, Sierra Alpha X-ray. November 4, Sierra Alpha X-ray. Thank you, sir. You're in there. 5 and 5, Long Island, New York. My name is Peter. Thank you, QSL. And the reason why we're only 5'5", my antenna is pointed north, trying to kind of capture everybody if I can. So I'm keeping it there, but certainly signals would be stronger. Nothing wrong with your equipment. As they say on television, don't tune your receiver. It's something on our end. Anyway, 73s, Merry Christmas. Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Roger, 7-3.
73s. QRZ, anyone, anywhere. CQ, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas. The Kilo station, go ahead. Is that Kilo 7 Italy November Echo? Hotel, I think is it K7 Hotel November Echo? Thank you very much. K7HNE, 5 and 5, Long Island, New York. Victor November Echo. Thank you. Thank you very much. Victor November Echo. Thank you so much. And to confirm that, that's Vincent in Arizona? Thank you, Vincent. Thank you for correcting it. We got it in the log, and you are now on the board for 5 golden rings. Go collect them at the bursar's desk. 73s. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. I hear a kilo Charlie. Let's try that. Let me get this thing a little bit situated here without breaking something. Okay. There we go. That may be better. I hear a Kilo Charlie. Let's try that now. Let's see if I get the prize. Is it Kilo Charlie 3, Mike Charlie? Okay, John, you know, it's like a 4 and 4, John, but you repeated it and the audio is good enough to get through. It's almost suitable for CW, but I got you. K3MMC, thank you, John. You're in the log from New York to Pennsylvania, Long Island, New York, and I think that's pretty good given conditions today. Thank you, John, for trying several times, and let me wish you a double Merry Christmas. Thanks a lot for your patience. There's a Delta Yankee. Is that Whiskey Bravo 0 November Delta Yankee? Roger, David. Pop Alpha again. 2 PAs in a row. Great. Thank you very much. You know, it's about a 4 and 4, but good enough for contact. 73s and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas.
Zulu 4, Charlie Whiskey.
The Charlie Whiskey first, Charlie Whiskey.
Kilowatt Zulu 4, Charlie Whiskey. David in Fremont, Ohio.
Thank you. Kilowatt Zulu 4, Charlie Whiskey. Nice signal. 5-9, David, plus from Long Island, New York. Nice audio as well. You sound great. Go ahead.
You are 5'9" plus almost 30. It's bouncing over 20 when you speak. It sounds like you're sitting here in the shack. Thanks for doing the special event. It's always fun to participate.
Well, thank you very much, David. And it's just as much fun to be one of the volunteers, one of the 25 volunteers. And thank you for that report. It's almost illegal. It's sounding so good. You too as well, 73s. Got a few people on board. QRZ.
Alpha Delta 8, Juliet Kilo.
Yeah, you sound like you're in the wind over there. Alpha Delta 8, Juliet Kilo, 5 and 7, Long Island, New York.
Well, you're 5'9" plus here in northern Michigan.
Thank you very much for the 5-9 plus in northern Michigan, and to you a very, very Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. QRZ.
Victor Echo 2, Romeo Uniform.
Romeo Uniform. Victor Echo 2, Romeo Uniform. Thank you, sir. 5-9, Long Island, New York.
Okay, here on the Orient Island, you are 5-9 plus 10. 5-9 plus 10. Good luck. Goodbye and Merry Christmas. Bye.
Thank you for that report from the island. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you. QRZ, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
November, Papa 3, Victoria.
Right, I made the call wrong. That's my home call. November Papa 3, Victoria. Is that a correct call? Thank you very much. November Papa 3, Victoria. Thank you, Angel. Thank you very much. 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. A very Merry Christmas to you and a Happy New Year. 7 3s. Merry Christmas. Thank you. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo.
November 9, Romeo Delta, Romeo Delta.
November 9, Romeo Delta. 5-9, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
Yeah, thank you very much, Peter. Name is Jurgen, and 5-9 in Indiana. And thank you very much. You're my last one here for a clean sweep.
Well, I love to hear those words. Thank you. I haven't had one today. Thank you for that. Congratulations on the clean sweep, and thank you for mentioning it. I'm going to put a little star next to your name so I remember your call when I give my report. Jurgen, thank you, and very Merry Christmas.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter. And yeah, I got the 2 bonus, too, so my day is made. I'm going back to making bacon cookies, help the wife. And 9RD, 7-3.
That's good. Now that's a happy life. Making cookies that way, that's a good balance. You got to have that balance. And again, congratulations on everybody, including the 2 stations in England. Thank you. Well done. Well done. Congratulations. Nice certificate will be out there for you. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas, 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas, and you will earn 5 golden rings by making contact with Whiskey 2 Romeo. I'm waiting. QRZ.
Victor Alpha 4, Sierra Mike Charlie.
Sierra Mike Charlie, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Victor Alpha 4, Sierra Mike Charlie, you're 5-9 into Winnipeg, Peter. Merry Christmas.
Well, thanks for the contact in Winnipeg. Whiskey Alpha 4, Sierra Mike Charlie. I believe it's Scott. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, Scott. QRZ.
November 8, November.
November 8, November. Thank you. 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter. That's November 8, November.
Yes, November 8, November. Thank you. You're about a 5-7 down here in Florida, over.
I got the 5-7 in Florida. Thank you very much. 5-7 here also in New York. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas, special event. QRZ. Kilo 1, Victor Mike Tango. Thank you. Good afternoon. 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter. Go ahead. Well, that's great. Joe, that is super. I did not expect to hear New England at all. So really strange propagation on 20 meters to get Vermont. I was going to work them on 40 or 80. Thank you very much, Joe. 73's Merry Christmas. Golf Lima Tango, go. Okay, it took me a minute to get it in my head. Italy Zulu 1, Golf Lima Tango. Peter, Long Island, New York. I think this is Bruno. Is that correct? Thank you. Thank you very much, Bruno. Thank you. Yeah, that's pretty good considering my antenna is northwest. So very good. 5 and 5 for sure. And you're in the log, and congratulations. Thank you for making contact with us. My first call in Europe. 73's, Bruno. Have a very Merry Christmas. Buona Natale. Buona Natale. Ciao. Ciao, Bruno. Ciao, ciao. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
November 8, India Delta Alpha.
November 8, India Delta Alpha first. We got a couple. We'll get them. 5 and 7, Long Island, New York.
Roger, Roger. You're also a 5-7 into Cincinnati, Ohio.
Thank you. That's Joe in Cincinnati.
Roger, Roger. Name is Joe.
Thank you, Joe. 73's Merry Christmas to you. And thank you for coming on board for Whiskey 2 Romeo. It's the Whiskey 2 Romeo train. QRZ.
Yankee November Golf.
The Yankee November Golf first.
Kilo Delta 8, Yankee November Golf. You're 5-9 in Indiana.
Thank you for the 5-9 in Indiana. Kilo Delta 8, Yankee November Golf. 5-9, Long Island, New York. Merry Christmas. Thank you so very much. QRZ. November Lima.
Canada, Ontario 7, November Lima.
Okay, CO7NL, Canada, October 7, November, Lima, 5 and 7, 5 and 7. And is this Nicholas in Cuba?
That's correct. 059 into Cuba, my friend. Thanks for the activation. Bye-bye.
My pleasure to do the activation. 73's Merry Christmas. QRZ.
Whiskey 3, Juliet Charlie Bravo.
Juliet Charlie Bravo, thank you. Whiskey 3, Juliet Charlie Bravo, thank you. 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
Roger, you're 5858 Pennsylvania, Roger.
Yeah, I roger that. A little bit astounding to have so many calls in Pennsylvania. My third one this time of day. 73's. QRZ.
89, CMG.
I believe it's CMG. Go ahead.
Kilo Delta 9, Charlie November Victor.
Charlie November Victor, thank you. Kilo Delta 9, Charlie November Victor, 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
Roger, Peter. You're a good 10 over 9 in Schaumburg, Illinois. Merry Christmas.
The land of Motorola. Did some business with them in those years. Thank you. 73's, Merry Christmas. You live in a beautiful area. Thank you very much. QRZ, anyone, anywhere. Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas. There's a weak station, Alpha, ending in Alpha. I'm going to move over just a little bit. I'm going down about half a KC. Stand by. There you go. I'm getting out of the way of a strong carrier. QRZ, CQ calling, CQ, CQ calling, CQ. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5th Annual 12 Days of Christmas, 5 Golden Rings. Whiskey 2 Romeo, my home call, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. The name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo, Long Island, New York. CQ, CQ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. CQ calling, CQ, CQ calling, CQ, Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, CQ calling, CQ. Mexico Yankee, go ahead.
Harry, Charlie 2, Harry, Canada 2, Papa Yankee, over.
Roger, Hotel Charlie 2, Papa Yankee from Ecuador. Thank you very much, if I have that right. Whiskey 2 Romeo, go ahead.
Roger, W2 Radio, nice to meet you. You are 5 and 9, over.
Roger, thank you for the 5 and 9. You're 5 and 7, 5 and 7. And do I have the call correct? Hotel Charlie 2, Papa Hotel?
Correct. QSL, HTQPY. Correct, over.
Thank you. What is your first name? Your first name?
Joe is my name, George, over.
Joe, thank you very, very much. Got it all in the log. 73s, and congratulations by earning a certificate from Whiskey 2 Romeo. QRZ.
Kilowatt Charlie 0, Oscar Victor Juliet.
Roger, Kilowatt Charlie 0, Oscar Victor Juliet. 5-9 plus, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
Peter, you're 5-9 plus in Northwest Iowa. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you, and good luck to you as well, and Happy New Year. Thank you so very much for the contact. We appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me company. Kilo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5 Golden Rings, 12 Days of Christmas, Long Island, New York.
Kilo Echo 8, November Hotel.
The Kilo, I think it's Kilo Echo 8.
Kilo Echo 8, November Hotel, you're 59 Ohio.
Thank you, Kilo Echo 8 Hotel, Kilo Echo 8, November Hotel. Thank you, 5-9 plus, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
All right, Peter, stay here. Come with us, Michael, our mechanic of Ohio. Wish you the best Christmas season, my friend.
Thank you so much. The best to you as well, and have a very Merry Christmas. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Whiskey Alpha 8 Juliet Romeo.
Whiskey Alpha 8 Juliet Romeo, 5 and 9, Long Island, New York.
And I have you 5 and 9 in Akron, Ohio, 73.
73s for Akron, Ohio. Thank you. Merry Christmas. QRZ. The standby, the Echo Juliet, only the Echo Juliet.
Yes, Kilo Delta 5, Echo Juliet, go.
Kilo Delta 5, Echo Juliet Golf. Kilo Delta 5, Echo Juliet Golf. 5 and 7, Long Island, New York.
You're 5 and 9 in the state of Mississippi. I need that call sign. Over.
My pleasure. The call is Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, home call Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. QSL?
Okay, I got Whiskey 2 Romeo. Over.
Roger, Roger. It's 5 golden rings.
I got it. 5 golden rings. Thank you.
Thank you for the land of Elvis Presley. Thank you. Tupelo, Mississippi. QRZ, anyone, anywhere. Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Kilo Fox 8 Alpha Mike.
Kilo Fox 8 Alpha Mike. Thank you so very much. 5-9 plus, Long Island, New York.
Roger, have you 5-9 plus about 20 here in Michigan.
Thank you, Paul. Also, the audio is outstanding. You sound great. Thank you so very much. Merry Christmas. QRZ.
9 Zulu 4 Mexico.
9, is that, do I have that right? 9 Zulu 4 Mexico?
Roger, Roger, thank you very much. 51858 to you, season's greetings.
Season's greetings, Trinidad and Tobago. Nice signal considering my beam is opposite. The back of the beam isn't too bad. 9 Zulu Alpha Mike 5 and 9, Long Island, New York. Michael, 73s. Merry Christmas to you.
7 bye bye.
Thank you. QRZ. I had a request. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Please come back.
This is Kilo Echo 8 Zulu Oscar Bravo.
Kilo Echo 8 Zulu Oscar Bravo. Kilo Echo 8 Zulu Oscar Bravo. Thank you. Peter, Long Island, New York.
This is Kilo Echo 8 Zulu Oscar Bravo. Thank you for the Kilo Echo and a Merry Christmas to you. Can I have your call sign if I can put you on my logbook? Over.
My pleasure. The Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo is a special event call sign. And also my home call sign is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. QSL?
QSO, Merry Christmas. This is Kilo Echo 8 Zulu Oscar Bravo 73. Thank you for the contact.
Well, thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you as well. And all of the season's greetings. All the best to you. Thank you so much. 73s to you. Whiskey 2 Romeo, QRZ. The Kilo Mike 4 again. Kilo Mike 4. Roger, thank you. Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Oscar Charlie. 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. Do I have the call right? Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Oscar Charlie.
Just to make sure, we are on 14.244.4 frequency. Is that correct?
14.244.400. Merry Christmas and a very happy New Year to you as well. My pleasure. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 days of Christmas.
Victor Alpha 3.
The Victor Alpha 3 again?
Victor Alpha 3, Alpha Tango Bravo.
Roger, Victor Alpha 3, Alpha Tango Bravo, 5 and 7, Long Island, New York.
Roger, you're 5-9 into London, Ontario. The name is Brian.
Thank you, Brian, from London, Ontario. My name is Peter, Long Island, New York, and Merry Christmas to you. QRZ. I hear it is a station with a Tango in the call. Roger, November 7, Tango Charlie Alpha, 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. Is that November 7, Tango Charlie Alpha? Got it. Okay, got it right. November 7, Tango Ocean Alpha. Thank you so very much. Is that David in Arizona? Got it now. I see what I got. Tango Charlie Oscar. November 7, Tango Charlie Oscar. And that's David in Washington State? Thank you, David, and thank you for helping me with the call. I appreciate that. 73s, David. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for your patience in figuring out the call. My pleasure. A little bit of QSB right now. The band is opening and closing, but nevertheless, we'll do our best. QRZ, anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Well, we had conditions that worked for a while, and now it closed down. So that's the kind of day it is. But it was fun while we had a little bit of a run there. Okay, so we're gonna try again. See what happens. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. Anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. The 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. 5 golden rings. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Home call Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. The name is Peter. Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo, located in Long Island, New York. CQ calling CQ Whiskey 2 Romeo, standing by.
November 0, Fox United Charlie.
November 0, Fox United Charlie. And I heard another station, stand by, 5 and 9, Long Island, New York.
Very good. You're 10 over 9 in Northwest Ohio.
Thank you for the 10 over 9 in Ohio, and Merry Christmas to you. QRZ.
November 0, Bravo Sierra.
November 0, just stand by a moment. Alpha Charlie 5, Oscar Charlie 5-9, Long Island, New York.
Kiss Alpha 59 Arkansas. Merry Christmas, 7.
Merry Christmas 73s. Go station, come in. QRZ, Whiskey 2, Romeo.
November 0, Bravo Sierra.
Right. I forgot your call. I knew you were there. November 0, Bravo Sierra 59++. Name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
QSL, Peter. Merry Christmas from Star Prairie, Wisconsin. The name's Tom. You're a beautiful 20 over 9 here.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I like beautiful signals. We work on those, don't we? We really work hard for that. Merry Christmas to you, Tom, and thank you so very much. You got a great signal. What radio are you using there?
I'm running the Hermes Light QRP rig, about 500 milliwatts, into a small solid-state amp, which is then driving an Alacraft KPA 500.
Yeah, that's a great combination. Just sounds good. Clean, really. It's just great sounding audio. It sounds good. As good as the Anon 7000s would sound, but much cheaper, I would say.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's the poor man's Anon. They're a great little radio and lots of fun. The antenna is just a ground-mounted vertical here, so glad you're hearing me.
Not only am I hearing you, it is repeater-like. I swear, full quieting. Sounds fantastic. Congratulations, and that's what the spirit of amateur radio is: advancing the hobby by just experimenting with different types of units. Sounding great. 73s, and very Merry Christmas to you. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Kilo 9, Mike, Charlie, Mike.
Mike, Charlie, Mike. Nice signal, 5-9+, Kilo 9, Mike, Charlie, Mike. Name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
I got you 5-7 in northern Indiana. Merry Christmas.
Now, Merry Christmas from northern Indiana. Now, you got to tell me, your QRZ profile page, you have your picture there, and you're holding up, I'm far away from the monitor. It doesn't look like prison numbers, so I don't think you're in prison because you don't have the orange jumpsuit. I'm only kidding. What are you holding right there?
That was my certificate when I passed general.
That is worthwhile holding. Congratulations. You know, you gotta change that. You gotta put your thumbs up there. That's a great moment. Congratulations on doing so.
Thank you, sir. 73.
73s, and have a very Merry Christmas. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Whiskey Baker 5, Italy Mike Tango.
Whiskey Baker 5, Italy something?
Whiskey Baker 5, India Mike Tango.
Whiskey Baker 5, India Mike Tango. Thank you. 5 and 9, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
QSL, 5-9 Oklahoma. Thank you so much. I only got 2 left.
All right, you'll get those two. Everybody is very active today, and you can see them posted on your favorite cluster. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. QRZ, anyone, anywhere, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas, 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. You will earn 5 golden rings. They're not going to cost you $2,500. It's all for free, and you'll get a nice certificate for your effort. Thank you so very much, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Whiskey 4, Radio Echo.
Whiskey 4, Radio Echo. Nice signal. Let me get the 4 in there. Whiskey 4, Radio Echo. Thank you so much. 5-9, Long Island, New York.
QSL, you're 5-9 in Tennessee.
Thank you for the 5-9 in Tennessee. I do appreciate that. Nice signal. Merry Christmas to you. QRZ, Whiskey 2, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
November 4, Mike Alpha Whiskey, QR.
The Mike Alpha Whiskey again?
November 4, Mike Alpha Whiskey, QRP. You are 5-9 and 11 in Tennessee.
Well, thank you so much. November 4, Mike Alpha Whiskey. You're 5'7", a solid 5'7", into Long Island, New York. The name is Peter. And tell me, what type of QRP rig are you running and how much power?
Roger, copy the 5-7. I'm running Goldman JQ X6100, and I'm running 5 watts into a 36 setup outside.
That is playing for you. Matthew, Michael, that is really playing for you. Well done. Congratulations. And first QRP that I've heard today, and you sound just fine. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so much for making contact with W2R. QRZ. I heard a station in there. Once again, come on in. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. I think there's a station with Foxtrot in the call. It's kind of weak right now. Maybe a little bit later it'll come up. I've just sort of weak. I'll try one more time. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Right, I heard you there again, but I'll get you again. Kilo Oscar 4, Tango X-Ray Bravo, 5 and 7, Long Island, New York.
Correction. Kilo Oscar 4 Tango X-Ray Victor. Victory.
Got it. Kilo Oscar 4, Tango X-Ray Victor. Thank you so very much. KO4. No, Kilo. I see what I did. I did a. When I hear Oscar, sometimes I do an O. Kilo Oscar 4, Tango X-Ray Victor. And it's Stephen in Kentucky. Do I have that right?
What was my report again?
5 and 7. And it's Steve in Kentucky.
QSL on the 5 and 7. 73s to you. Thank you for doing the event. This was a fun event. And I hope you have a Merry Christmas from Kentucky.
Well, thank you so very much. Yes, a fun event for us, too. A fun event for us operators. And thank you so very much for saying that. You're being recorded on Twitch TV. So the folks who are running the event, both Lou and Sally, will hear that and say thank you very much. Maybe put a gold star on your certificate. 73's Merry Christmas, sir. Whiskey 2 Romeo. The station ending in golf? Roger, Kilo 1, Kilo India Golf, 5 and 7, 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. Thank you. Go ahead. Merry Christmas to you and 73s and Happy New Year as well. Thank you so much for making contact with the station. 73s. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. November 5 again? I have November 5, let's see, November 5, Oscar Fox something. Okay, so is the call correct? November 5, Oscar Foxtrot? Roger, and you are located in Texas, and you're 5 and 5 in Texas. Thank you so much. You have a great Christmas as well. 73s to you. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 days of Christmas, 5 golden rings.
Bravo Tango.
Bravo Tango again?
Kilo Echo 0, Juliet Bravo Tango.
Thank you very much. Kilo Echo 0, Juliet Bravo Tango, 5 and 9, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
You're coming in at 5-9 also into Lincoln, Nebraska, November Echo.
Thank you for November Echo. I appreciate that. And have a very, very Merry Christmas. 73's, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
November 8, Hotel Alpha Romeo.
Hotel Alpha Romeo. Nice signal, nice audio. November 8, Hotel Alpha Romeo. Thank you. 5-9 plus a lot bit. And it's Peter, Long Island, New York.
Thanks very much for the signal report and for the audio report.
You're 5'9", Michigan. Name is Russ.
Russ, thank you. Sound very, very nice, Russ, from Michigan. And what lighthouse am I looking at there? You know, I swear, it looks like the Cape Elizabeth Lighthouse, but I know it isn't. So tell me, which lighthouse are we looking at?
Oh, that's the one on Lake Superior.
Very nice looking Lake Superior. Boy, it's more of a Ocean Superior. Thank you, sir. 73's best of the holidays, and thank you very much for joining us on Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Thanks very much. 73, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so much. QRZ, anyone, anywhere, Whiskey 2 Romeo. If anybody is on the chat and likes to say hello, likes to say a word or two, please feel free to do so. CQ calling, CQ calling, CQ, anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12th annual, there I go again. 5th annual, 12 Days of Christmas. That's the 5th annual, 12 Days of Christmas on this first day of winter, December 21st, 2023. My home call is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Name is Peter, located in Northport, one word, Long Island, New York. QRZ.
Kilowatt Bravo 9.
Alpha 8, kilowatt radio.
The kilowatt radio, stand by a second. Let me get my pencil there. Kilowatt radio, stand by 1 second. The Kilo Bravo 9.
Kilowatt Bravo 9, Mexico, Charlie X-ray.
Thank you very much for your patience. Kilowatt Bravo 9, Mike Charlie X-ray, 5 and 9, Long Island, New York.
QSL, you're also 5'9". We're located northwest of Chicago. QSL?
QSL, northwest of Chicago. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so much. The kilowatt radio?
Alpha 8, kilowatt radio.
Thank you very much. Thanks for standing by. Thanks for your patience. Can't say ham radio operators are not patient. Alpha 8, kilowatt radio. Thank you. 5'9", sir. Nice signal from Long Island, New York. Name is Peter.
Good to hear that. Thank you very much. You've got a very fine signal as well. AA8KR.
Thank you so very much. Merry Christmas. QRZ, anyone, anywhere. Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas. 5 golden rings here. There's 12 of us out there. 12 Days of Christmas. 5 golden rings. Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Victor Echo 3, Yankee Whiskey.
Wow, what a nice signal. 5'9", I'll give you 3 pluses on that. Don't even know what my meter is saying. I don't have that going now, but very strong signal. Fantastic audio. Tell me the radio you're using. My name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
Yeah, I assume you're coming back to me.
Oh, Victor Echo 3 Yankee Whiskey. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Yep, you're good.
Okay, I wasn't sure, my friend. Thank you very much. You're 5'9" plus 20. I come 7,300, 500 watts into a hex beam right at you there, Roger.
Roger, yeah, the 7300 really delivers. And you may be using a Heil mic because it sounds that good. Are you using a KPA by any chance?
No, you know what? I'm just using a stock mic here. Just a stock mic, my friend. The name is Rich here, QSL.
Rich, that's great. My name is Peter, Papa Echo Tango Echo Road. Rich, that sounds great. What amp are you using?
I'm using the ACOM 1010, about 500 watts, BEP.
Well, that sounds fantastic. And the antenna that you're using?
Yes, a hex beam, Peter. A hex beam pointing due east right now, right at you.
Yeah, the hex beam really does a good job. Yeah, I happen to be pointed about northwest, so that's why your signal is really powerful, really doing well. Thank you so much, Rich. Merry Christmas to you, and thank you for giving me a report on your station. I appreciate that. 73s.
Yeah, okay, Peter, and thanks for the activation, my friend. I've been having a lot of fun collecting the 12 days of Christmas. I think I've got them all now, but it's 7-3. Merry Christmas.
Yes, if this is a clean sweep, I will put you down for me so I can report that. And thank you very much. Yes, it's been a pleasure. We're one of 25 operators, and it's really a fun event.
7-3, Peter. Thank you.
73, Rich. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Whiskey Zulu 8 X-ray.
The X-ray station, stand by X-ray. Just stand by a moment. Stand by X-ray. A kilowatt Bravo 0, go ahead.
Kilowatt Bravo 0, Echo, Delta, Echo, Eastern Iowa, you're 5x5.
Thank you, John. 5 and 7 here into Long Island, New York. Kilo Bravo 0, Echo, Delta, Echo. Thanks, John. Got a nice signal here. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Peter. Bye-bye.
Kilo Charlie 9, Juliet X-ray, KC9, JXJ.
Yes, let's see. KX9, is it JXJ? KX9, JXJ?
KC9, JXJ.
Kilo Charlie 9, Juliet X-ray, Juliet 59 into Skokie, Illinois. 59 into Skokie.
Thank you. It's High, I believe. Yes, KC9. It's pretty good. JXJ. Thank you, High. I hope that I got your name right. 5 and 9, Long Island, New York.
73s, thank you for being out there. JXJ from Skokie.
Thank you. 73s to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we are doing our best. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Kilo Mike 4.
Whiskey Zulu 8 X-ray.
X-ray, stand by 1 moment. Kilo Mike 4.
Kilo Mike 4, Echo Foxtrot X-ray.
Got a lot of X-rays today. Kilo Mike 4, Echo Fox X-ray. 5 and 9, Long Island, New York.
Roger, Roger. You're a 5-9, Eastern North Carolina. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, and thank you so much. The other X-ray station?
Whiskey Zulu 8 X-ray.
Yeah, that's quick. Whiskey Zulu 8 X-ray. 5 and 9, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
Now, Pete, you're 5-9 plus here in the mountains of western North Carolina, and Merry Christmas to you. Thanks.
Thank you very much. The mountains of North Carolina are very beautiful. Merry Christmas to you as well. Stay warm. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. Yeah, I hear some stations, but they're a little bit light. We'll try again here. CQ calling, CQ, anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo, QRZ. CQ calling, CQ. CQ calling, CQ. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. CQ calling, CQ. Anyone, anywhere for the 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. Whiskey 2 Romeo. One more try. CQ calling, CQ. CQ calling, CQ. Whiskey 2 Romeo. 5 golden rings being collected here. 12 Days of Christmas. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. CQ calling, CQ. CQ calling, CQ. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. CQ and listening.
Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey November, Kilo.
Whiskey November. Kilo Echo 8. Whiskey November. Is that Kilo? Thank you. Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey November Kilo. 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
Roger, Roger. Thank you for the 5-7. You're a 5 and 9. 5 and 9 over here in Northwest Ohio, Oscar Hotel.
Thank you for Northwest Ohio, and thanks for the signal report. Merry Christmas. QRZ.
Merry Christmas, 73.
8 Delta Victor Romeo.
Delta Victor Romeo.
Kilo Delta 8, Delta Victor Romeo. 5-9 Ohio.
Thank you for the 5-9 Ohio. Kilo Delta 8, Delta Victor Romeo. Thank you. 5-9 Long Island, New York. The name is Peter. 73s. QRZ.
Kilo Echo 8, Romeo, Romeo Golf.
Romeo, Romeo, Golf. I like Romeos. Kilo Echo 8, Romeo, Romeo, Golf. Good afternoon. 5 and 9 Long Island, New York.
QSL, you're also 5 and 959 Michigan. Just to confirm, you are a Whiskey 2 Romeo?
That is correct. Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5 golden rings. QSL?
QSL, that's the last one I needed. Thank you very much for the contact, and 73. Merry Christmas.
Gerardo, yes, thank you. Very good. Thank you for telling me a clean sweep. This is the third one so far today. Congratulations, and I know you can't wait to download that certificate when it's available. 73s, and have a very Merry Christmas.
73, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
You will?
Station calling?
Whiskey Delta 5, India Uniform Oscar.
India Uniform Oscar, thank you. That's Whiskey Delta 5, India Uniform Oscar, 5 and 7. 5 and 7, Long Island, New York.
So you're a 5-7 here in East Texas, WND 5 Merry Christmas.
73s and Merry Christmas to you. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Kilo Quebec 4, Juliet Victor Papa.
Kilo Quebec 4, Juliet Victor Papa. Do I have that right? Kilo Quebec 4, Juliet Victor Papa?
QSL.
Thank you. 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
All right, Peter, you're 5-7 number 50.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so very much for the contact. Thank you for joining us here on the 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. Whiskey 2 Romeo. I think I hear a station with Juliet in the call. Go ahead. Nothing heard. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. Anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. It is now 2029. 2029. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. Name is Peter. Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo. Home call. Whiskey to Juliet Victor for all those flowers that you want to send me. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Listening. Kilo November 6. Kilo November 6. Ocean X-ray. Do I have that right? Thank you very much. Yes, you're 5'9" as well. Thank you so very much for contacting us, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Jan.
Thank you very much. 73s. QRZ. The Papa November again? QSL, Zulu, Sierra 3, Papa November. Thank you, 5 and 7, Long Island, New York. I think your name is Peter, and I think you're located in South Africa. QSL? Thank you very much for the 5'9". Yes, your signal is coming up also to about a 5'9", and my beam is not exactly near you, but close enough for the contact. Congratulations. Thank you for joining us on Whiskey 2 Romeo from Long Island, New York, USA. 73s, and Merry Christmas.
November 4,
The YL standby. YL standby. November 4, come in. Yeah, I have some QSB from a station next to me. November 4 again?
November 4, Delta Julius Echo.
Right, November 4, Delta Juliet Echo. Is that correct?
Roger, you're 5'9" in Georgia, Roger.
Thank you, 5'9" in Georgia, Dennis. I appreciate that. Thanks for your patience, 73s. Yeah, there's a strong station with a lot of splatter, so hopefully we can make some more contacts. The YL, is a YL on board? Come on in.
Victor Echo 3, Radio Hotel.
Yes, wow. Did you put on a super amplifier? You're about 20 over 9. Victor Echo 3, Romeo Hotel. Thank you. Wonderful signal. The name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
Okay. This is Victor Echo 3, Radio Hotel. And you are Whiskey 2 Radio, is that correct?
That is correct. Whiskey 2 Radio, that is a special event for the 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. You earned 5 golden rings from my station. And by the way, my home call is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, and my name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo, and located in Northport, New York, Long Island. QSL?
What was your call? Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor?
Yes, that's the home call, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, and the special event station is Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Yeah, I know. I'm working you guys. You know, I got the Delta, the Lima, and the Papa, and now I got the Romeo. Thank you very much. 73s from Ontario, near Lake Superior, and Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you very much from Lake Ontario. Merry Christmas to you, and you're really collecting them because we know Romeo is the nicest one to have, after all. 5 golden rings, you can't do better than that. Well, you have a very Merry Christmas. A pleasure to have you on board and to put you in our log. Thank you, and be well. 73s.
You too, 73s.
November Charlie 0 Echo.
November Charlie 0 Echo first. I know there's an Alpha station there. November, let me get this right. November, my fingers went wrong. Charlie 0 Echo. Is that correct?
It's just November Charlie 0 Echo, and I have you 5'9" in Kansas, over.
Roger, thank you very much. November Charlie Zero Echo, thank you. I have you 5-9 also in Long Island, New York. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for the clean sweep.
Another clean sweep, thank you. Four clean sweeps today. It's getting exciting. QRZ?
Whiskey 8, Echo Ocean Tango.
Echo Ocean Tango, thank you. Whiskey 8, Echo Ocean Tango. Here are a few of the air. We'll get you. Whiskey 8, Echo Ocean Tango, 5-9 plus, Long Island, New York.
QSL for the nice report, and you're also 5-9 plus in Ohio. Have fun, thanks.
Thank you, Doug. We will. QRZ?
Whiskey, Alpha 4, Sierra, Romeo, Foxtrot.
Charlie 5, Quebec Lima.
The Quebec Lima, just stand by 1 second. Quebec Lima, let me get that there. Quebec Lima. Whiskey Alpha 4, Sierra Romeo Foxtrot. Come on in. You're 5-9.
Roger, you're 5-9 and 10 over. And in the state of Kentucky, what exit on the LIA are you near?
4-8, 48.
Roger, Roger. I spent some time out there. Hop Hog, Ron Conkelman, the Smithtown, so I'm kind of familiar. Hey, good luck and have a good day.
Yes, you are. And one thing you have to be careful of when you're driving around those towns is all the leaves, especially when it's wet. 73 is a Merry Christmas. The Quebec Charlie?
Yeah, Alpha Charlie 5, Quebec Lima.
Roger, Alpha Charlie 5, Quebec Lima, 5-9 plus, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
Hey, Peter. Yep, you are same here. 5-9 plus in Northwest Ohio.
Thank you, Todd, for Northwest Ohio, and Merry Christmas. QRZ?
November 9, Papa Victor Zulu.
The Zulu station, standby. Zulu, standby. November 9 again, Papa. I think it's November 9, Papa Yankee Yankee.
Yeah, it's November 9, Papa Yankee Yankee 5-9 in Illinois, and Merry Christmas to you.
John, Merry Christmas to you from Illinois. Thank you so much. The Zulu station?
Kilo Delta Zero Sierra Victor Zulu.
Kilo Delta Zero, Sierra Victor Zulu. Thank you. 5-9 plus, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
Roger, Roger. You're 5-9 plus here in Kansas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well. Very Merry Christmas. QRZ?
Kilowatt Fox 4, Hotel November.
Hotel November. Kilo Fox 4, Hotel November. 5-9, Long Island, New York.
Roger, Roger, Peter. Thank you very much for the contact. You're 5-9, Virginia. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Merry
Christmas and a Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so very much for the contact. We appreciate that. QRZ? The station ending in Juliet. I hear a YL there at the November station. Stand by. Juliet, come on in.
Yeah, King Henry 2, Tango Juliet.
Tango Juliet, thank you. King Henry 2 Tango Juliet, thank you very, very much. Good afternoon to you. 5-7, Long Island, New York.
You're also 5-7, Northern California.
Thank you for the 5-7 in Northern California. I think there's a YL with November in the call. Go ahead. Yes, there you are. I hear you. Give me your call again. Roger, Zulu, yeah, thank you. Zulu, Sierra 3, Mike, November, 5-7, Long Island, New York. Go ahead.
Thank you, you're about 5-9 from my side. Thank you for the contact. W2R, Sierra 3, Mike, November.
Well, thank you much for South Africa, 73s, and a very Merry Christmas to you. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. The Kilo India 5 first. The Kilo India 5. Yeah, I have a station now that's about 100 over 9. Kilo India 5. Nothing heard. QRZ, Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo.
November 2, Mike Alpha Charlie.
Mike Alpha Charlie, just stand by a second. Let me just put this down. Mike Alpha Charlie. Okay, stand by 1 second for me. The Kilo 7, go ahead. Roger, got it. Kilo 7 Sierra Papa Romeo. Thank you for California. 5-7 Long Island, New York. Thank you very much. 73s and Merry Christmas. Say that again?
Can I give you my personal call? That was the club call. Roger, Roger.
Yes, my personal call is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Oh, yes. Okay, stand by. Give me your personal call now.
Personal call, Kilo, Germany 6, Norway, London, Whiskey.
Roger, Kilo, Germany 6, Norway, London, Whiskey. Thank you. 5-9, Long Island, New York. Merry Christmas. My pleasure. The Mike Alpha Charlie.
Yeah, this is November 2, Mike Alpha Charlie.
Thank you for being patient. I appreciate that. November 2, Mike Alpha Charlie. Hey, thank you. I think it's Kenneth from Bayshore.
Yeah, that's correct. USL.
Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you. Let me also invite you to Ham Radio University, January 6th, 2024 at LIU Post. You think you'd be able to make it?
I won't be doing that.
Okay, fine. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you very much. 73s. QRX. CQ calling CQ calling CQ. Anyone, anywhere. This is Special Event Station, Whiskey 2 Romeo. 12 Days of Christmas, Whiskey 2 Romeo. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. CQ calling CQ. Anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo. CQ and listening. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ, Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5th Annual 12 Days of Christmas, CQ calling CQ, anyone, anywhere, this is Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, listening.
Kilo Delta 9, Quebec Echo November.
Well, thank you very much. You really made a nice, strong signal there, about 10 over, 15 over 9, Kilo Delta 9, Quebec Echo November. Thank you very much. The name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
Okay, QSL, yeah, I got you a solid 5-9 here in Illinois. The name here is Eric.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you very much, and really nice signal. What radio are you using?
Yaesu was the FT 710.
Nice. It sounds fantastic. Are you using the stock mic with it?
That is correct. I am. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Done a fantastic job. I don't know if it has an equalizer or not, but it really sounds very, very, very nice. Very, very good. 73s and Merry Christmas, and sounds terrific, as I said. QRZ, anyone, anywhere, Whiskey 2 Romeo.
Kilo Delta 4, Hotel Charlie Uniform.
Thank you very much. Easy to copy, especially with such great audio that you have. Fantastic sounding audio. Kilo Delta 4, Hotel Charlie United, 59++. The name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
Roger, Peter. You're about 5 over, 10 over Arden Peaks here in the east coast of North Carolina. And that's where we are, located in Havelock.
That sounds nice. Very, very nice. Well, 73s, thank you very much for making contact with us. And I see your picture on the QRZ page. The station looks just terrific. 73s, and have a very Merry Christmas. Please do that. And thanks a lot for making contact with us. CQ calling CQ, anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ, Whiskey 2 Romeo, Whiskey 2 Romeo, anyone, anywhere, Whiskey 2 Romeo, 12 Days of Christmas.
Whiskey 0 Foxtrot November Sierra.
Whiskey 0 Foxtrot November Sierra, Whiskey 0 Foxtrot November Sierra, 59+. Name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
Okay, Peter, yeah, you got a nice, about a 10 over 9 signal coming into Shawnee, Kansas, and the name here is Mike, Mexico India Kilo Echo. Merry Christmas, Peter.
Merry Christmas, Mike. Thank you so very much. Nice signal, and got 101 contacts so far this morning and this afternoon, and running slow but sure. Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas to you, and thanks for making contact with Whiskey 2 Romeo, Special Event Station, QRZ.
Kilo Bravo 8, Mike, Quebec.
What a nice signal. Kilo Bravo 8, Mike, Quebec. Fantastic sounding audio. I have a feeling, excuse me, my voice is going, but I have a feeling your voice makes the audio sound really crisp. 59++. The name is Peter, Long Island, New York.
QSL, Peter, thank you for the compliment. I spent 30 years keeping my voice calm on the radio with the fire department. I got excited, my crew got excited, so tried to just keep calm and do the right thing on the radio, good practices. I appreciate you participating in the special event. Have a Merry Christmas, 73.
Thank you, Krista. That's how your name from the QRZ page. I hope I have that right. Well, it certainly works. Yes, for sure. And I picked it out, and then you told me just how it happened. And congratulations. Thank you for all the service. That is not an easy job, and you have to have a certain DNA to do that. So thank you very much for doing such a valuable and life-saving service. 73s to you, and a very Merry Christmas and a healthy New Year.
73, thanks again. I'm paying for it now, but anyway, just new to ham radio, have Dad call fine, and rocking and rolling here in the special event. So once again, 73.
Well, welcome to amateur radio, and it's a wonderful community. It really is, and there's a tremendous amount of help available, and it's wonderful to be a part of a club, and to really there are so many special events that are happening on amateur radio, and it's just wonderful to be part of it. And I feel really very fortunate to be one of the 25 people operating the special event, 5 Golden Rings, 12 Days of Christmas. 73's, Krista. Thank you so very much. QRZ, anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo. CQ calling CQ, CQ calling CQ, anyone, anywhere, for the 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5 Golden Rings, Whiskey 2 Romeo, CQ calling CQ. The name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo, and my home call is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor.
Whiskey 2 Lima.
Whiskey 2 Lima, thank you, good to hear you. 5-9 here in Long Island, New York.
Roger, 5-9 in Nebraska. Can you put my call in the log?
I'm going to stand by. Yes, let me do that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Kilo 0, November Echo Bravo.
Thank you. Kilo 0, November Echo Bravo. Joe in Nebraska. And Joe, thanks a lot for being one of the volunteers.
Glad to do it. I'm going to have to look in my logs to see which ones I need. 73.
73's, Joe. Thank you. QRX stations, QRX. We're back again. CQ calling CQ, anyone, anywhere. This is Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5th annual 12 Days of Christmas. Whiskey 2 Romeo, CQ calling CQ. Whiskey 2 Romeo, 5 Golden Rings. Whiskey 2 Romeo. Whiskey 2 Romeo, Peter, Long Island, New York. QRZ.
November 9, Charlie Sierra.
Thank you, sir. November 9, Charlie Sierra. Nice signal. 5-9+, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
Roger, Peter. The name here is Todd, and I've got you also 5-9 in Peoria, Illinois.
Thank you, Todd, for Peoria, Illinois, and thank you for the 5-9, and Merry Christmas to you. And thank you so much for joining us here in the special event, Whiskey 2 Romeo. QRZ, anyone, anywhere.
Whiskey 4 X-Ray Juliet.
Whiskey 4 X-Ray Juliet. Thank you so very much. 5-9+, Long Island, New York. The name is Peter.
Peter, you are 5-9+ into Kansas City, Missouri this afternoon. Go ahead.
Thank you for 5-9+ in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm curious, you got such nice audio. What type of rig are you using?
ICOM 7300, but I have a Shure PG-28.
Yeah, the PG-28's doing well, but of course, that's the heavy lifting. That 7300 never disappoints. Hey, thanks a lot. 73s and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. QRZ, anyone, anywhere, Whiskey 2 Romeo. Well, this is Whiskey 2 Romeo. We're going to go QRT unless there's anyone that wants 5 golden rings. We perhaps will be on later, but other Romeos will be on. Whiskey 2 Romeo will be going QRT. There you go. Whiskey 2 Romeo QRT. For those that are not amateur radio operators, shame on you. That means we are off the air, and we'll start cooling our equipment down right now. Anyway, it was fun. I don't know how long we were on. I didn't keep track, but we made a lot of contacts in spite of the fact that it was a little slow at times. So it was a little bit of a drag, but I had a lot of fun and had a number of longer QSOs than we normally would have when we have pileups. So this is it. 73s to you all, and thanks a lot for those who are listening to the broadcast. And once again, I say the best of 73s to you. And this is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor, my home call, saying 73s and goodbye for now, and Merry Christmas. Thank you so very much.